Hi, and welcome back to Luke's World. Recently, I finished putting together the last video on my biking trip on the zipline trails. So today, we're going to be doing an interview about all the trails and what I liked about them, what I didn't like about them, and all that stuff. Alright, let's get started.
So Luke, we just finished our trip. We've been talking about this trip for quite some time, but we finally got to do it. We hit quite a few trails. We started with the first trail. It was Lowe's Creek in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. What did you think of that trail?
I like it. It wasn't quite as flowy as some of the other trails I rode, but I liked it a lot. I did a Niker race there last year, and that's the first time I rode there. I like it a lot. My favorite part of those trails are probably there's this one section where there's a lot of like whoops and stuff, and I would say that's pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a fun trail, and you did get to ride that one once before. So after we finished that one, then later that day we drove further north to Hayward, Wisconsin, and you got your first taste of the Camba trails with the hospital trails that are right in Hayward. Those are more of a beginner type trail, green rated. What did you think of those?
I liked them a lot. They weren't very hard. They were really flowy. I think for a beginner rider, they would love them. It would be super fun. I had a super fun time. All those trails were super cool. I loved every part of it. Like, it felt like you were just going down, like no ups. It was so good.
Yep, I agree, and the scenery there was really, really good.
And it's pretty crazy because it's literally right next to the hospital, and it's crazy how scenic it is for being so close to town.
So after the hospital trails, we camped at Rome Base Camp, right outside of Sealy, Wisconsin, right off the Camba Trail. And then the next day we hit a few of the other Camba Trail segments. The first one being called...
Can I interrupt you real quick? So before we talk about more of the Camba Trail, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about Rome Base Camp. So it was a pretty cool camp, if I do say so myself. It was in the woods. It wasn't like a lot of campsites where it's like you have a ton of neighbors and stuff. It was pretty secluded, but yet it was pretty nice and stuff too. Wouldn't you agree?
It was super nice. Yep. Highly recommend it.
All right, back to you.
Back to mountain biking. All right. So the first segment that we did of the Camba Trails was a not brand new, but a relatively new segment called Dirt Candy. What'd you think of Dirt Candy?
It was pretty cool. I loved the trails. They were pretty nice, and they were really flowy. The only thing with those trails that I think we could have made better was there were a lot of uphills, which I didn't like quite as much. But the other thing was the way we rode wasn't as good. I think if you rode the opposite way, it would have been a little better.
I think we went essentially south. If you would have rode it the north direction, I think it would have floated a little better.
Yeah, because that one figure eight section, you had to loop it back around.
So that's a unique feature of this particular trail segment was their figure eight.
Yeah,
what do you think of that?
It was really fun. It's just that's another reason why I wish we went the other way, because there were a lot of like areas where the area would split into like two sections, and in order to go like the downhill section, you would have to turn around, go back, and then loop right back up. So that was why I kind of wanted to ride the other way. But now we know for next time to ride the opposite way.
And then after we completed Dirt Candy, we linked it to another segment called Flow Mama. Flow Mama's famous for a couple special features. What'd you think of Flow Mama?
It was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. It was pretty flowy. The only thing was, there was this one part of the trail where there was this big uphill, and then once we got to the top of it, it started to go down, but it was like teasing you kind of, because it would give you a short downhill, then you had to go back up, and then a short downhill, and then back up. and then that was kind of disappointed me a little bit, but otherwise I liked it a lot.
So the two special features in Flow Mama are called 38 Special and Gravity Cavity. What did you think of those, and which one was your favorite?
That's a tough one. They were both really good. Like, both of them were kind of similar, though, I kind of thought. So 38 Special, you come in, it's kind of like a ravine. You go up, down, and stuff. And then Flow Mama, or...
Gravity Cavity.
Yeah, Gravity Cavity, it's kind of like that, too. I like them both. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think Gravity Cavity is my favorite.
Yeah, I would probably agree.
All right, well that kind of wrapped up most of our Canva riding. And then we headed a few hours kind of east towards the Minocqua area, and we rode the Windman trails. And I know you like the Windman trails, so what did you think?
Man, those Windman trails, they're probably the best in Wisconsin. My favorite I've ridden probably so far.
Yeah, they're really good.
Cross.
Kind of a combination of flow and cross country and some technical.
Yeah, like those trails, they're super good. Like my two favorites, from last year, I checked out this new trail called the Slalom Course, which
It's called Twins.
Yeah, Twins or whatever. That one's really cool. And then this time I was there, I checked out a new trail called Send It, and that one was super cool too. I don't know which one I liked better, but they were both really cool. The Send It, I think, was even longer than the Twin, right?
Yeah, I think it did seem that way.
The Slalom Course, I think, is really cool because you can like race the other person. So there's two tracks, they're the same length, and then you start out on this platform, and then it goes down, and then you're like, it's really fun. And then it comes out at the end, and then you see which one wins. And then Send It I like a lot because that one's a pretty long one, and it's like wide open. You can just get so much speed on that. Yeah.
Yeah, Windman was definitely a good time. Definitely want to go back. So while in Minocqua, we met up with some family. Also did some canoeing and kayaking. Were able to have a campfire and relax and hang out.
Yeah, so my uncle and my dad's cousin both live up in Minocqua. And they're both real into biking and stuff. So we decided to camp with them at their cabin. And it was pretty nice because they live on a lake. And they had some kayaks, so we kayaked around the lake. And then we went swimming and stuff, which was pretty fun. And then we went biking with them. And that's why at Windman and the zipline trails, you saw somebody else in front of me. That was Paul. And he's pretty fast, wouldn't you agree?
You were doing a good job keeping up with him. So you mentioned zipline. After Windman, we headed to zipline trails that are right in Minocqua. What did you think of these trails?
I liked them a lot. The first time I was there, I wasn't in the best mood, and we didn't go on that was our first time there, so we didn't know our way around that well. So I didn't really care for it. And when I went there this time, I thought that I wasn't going to really like it much and stuff. But when I was there, I liked it way better than before. It was crazy.
There were some pretty high speed sections on zipline, would you say?
Yeah, I would say it was pretty fast. Not quite as fast as Windman or anything.
You don't think so?
No, but I would say there was this one cool section with just a straight kind of downhill with a bunch of whoops and stuff and a few winding corners and stuff, but it was pretty fun. You could get a lot of speed on it. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
That was pretty cool. I enjoyed it a lot too. So there was actually a 7th trail we rode as well, right? We posted 6 videos, but there was actually a 7th trail. Unfortunately, the battery was dead on the GoPro, so it did not get recorded. But let's talk about it. It's a new trail system. It's in the Wausau area. It's called Ringgold. Ringgold Trails. What'd you think of these?
They were unique. I would say unique. They were pretty flowy, but one thing that was kind of weird about it was it was located around a landfill.
It was. What'd you think of that?
I think it was nice that they repurposed the land and made something of it, but when you get to the side where the wind blows, it smells pretty bad.
It did on one side a little bit. But the trails were really well. They're all flow trails, machine built. The trails themselves are all in the woods. For the most part, you cut across one.
Yeah, there's
kinda
this
open
one
section,
section where it's kind of open along like the hill, and it's pretty cool because like they're still using the landfill. It's not like it's like full or anything. They're still using it and stuff. So like you see the trucks coming in and out and stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Definitely. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. It's a newer trail. There's quite a few features on that one. Flows pretty fast.
Yeah, and it was right next to a rail trail that went through it, and
Yep.
that was cool.
Yep. So quite a bit of riding. We packed it all into a 4-day weekend.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun weekend.
Kind of a lot of different trails in Wisconsin.
Yeah, so that about wraps up today's video. If you haven't already yet subscribed, please do so. This is me, Luke from Luke's World. This is my dad from Luke's World. And with that, stay tuned for our next video. Bye.